if we really look back to in our childhood, every emotion was very exciting, right? Even the bad ones. I generally gave the example of suffocating. When you run too much when you were a kid. When I was out of breath and suffocating, and this fear and adrenaline came, I was just experiencing, oh, my lungs, pain. It was very interesting. When you were a kid, even the bad feelings were interesting. And we were
Hmm.
just experiencing them vividly, right? Even the anger. And I feel that when I was a kid, anger, desire for something was very physical when I
Yeah.
was a kid. I was able to feel my heart, lungs, the little contractions in the body when you feel. And you sit there and experience that, right? When you were a kid. Oh,
Hmm.
what is this feeling in my body? Purest sense. So how did we lost it? This is the starting point of this workshop. Actually, how did we lost this vivid, bright colors of the experience of our emotions when we were a kid? In every mystical tradition, there is a specific emotion work. In Taoism, it is like 5 animals or 5 dragons. In Tibetan Buddhism, there are 5 directions and 5 colors associated with 5 emotions. And in like yogic tradition, in Sufi tradition, every tradition got some emotion work. And especially the tantric traditions, which I count Taoism as well in the tantric traditions, there are a specific approach to this. This approach is about embracing the emotions and let them flow freely. Every emotion that we can experience in their original state is very beautiful. This is very important in Tibetan perspective. So even your most destructive emotions, in their purest form, they are directly, mirroring your Buddha nature, your awakened nature directly. Even fear, even anger, even jealousy. But if we start to distort them, reshape them, or apply pressure on them, then they start to go crazy. These 3 reactions that we give to the emotion to distort them. First, justification. Let's say you feel a lot of anger, then somehow you try to justify this feeling. You know, I'm right to feel this, because these people do this, this, this. This actually distorts the emotion. Why? Because you tie your emotion to some kind of conditionality, right? You don't give yourself the right to experience it in a natural way, right? When you're justifying your emotion. This is very important. Second one, acting on it. What I mean is, let's say you got a high desire of something. It might be sexual desire, desire for some, desire for affection, every kind of desire. What is the peak point of this experience? Losing it, right? Just think about sexual arousal. What is the top point of it? Orgasm, which you lose the emotion, right? In that point, you lose it. So what you are actually trying to do with desire is trying to losing it, right? But this is actually true for all emotions. When you are angry, right, you try to do something to some people in order to get rid of the emotion, right? Sorrow, when you miss someone, when you love someone, when you want something, you try to get rid of every kind of emotion. Can everyone say something contrary to this? No, right? Which emotion can be sustainably increased by acting on it? Is there something like this? Right? So acting on an emotion is trying to get rid of it. So we distort the emotion. You exhaust these feelings when you are reacting to it. So reacting to an emotion in Dzogchen, it is not seen as living the emotion. You try to get rid of it by reacting to it. And they define it like it actually is connected with your meridians, your body's energy or interoception channels, let's say, not developed enough. So you can't experience this emotion in a deep level. That's why you try to get rid of them. So it's about you being not connected to your body. This is why actually emotions can't control our actions. This is very, very important. And why this acting on it distorts it? Let me open this up a bit. Because when we act on an emotion, we make the reason of the emotion external, right? The nature of acting is making something about an object, then apply some, action on it. But in truth, all of our emotions are internal in our bodies. So this is why acting on an emotion or justifying it, actually making it external, right? Tying it to external conditions and external actions, making it less vivid, step by step, and distorting it. And the third one, and many of us, unfortunately, in this era, suffering from the third hindrance, it is suppressing it. What suppressing means, when you feel an emotion, we instantly react to it. I should not feel this, right? Reflexively, your body tries to not experience it. Oh, this is wrong. I should not experience it like this, right? And what that does to our body is like a small contraction, right? Everyone got the idea and feeling for this? This is very subtle and very physical reflex, right? Suppressing it, like contracting it. So we actually contract our energy channels to suppress the emotion. But what happens in energy channels is something gets stuck, very clearly. Something gets stuck in our body. So actually, this suppressed feeling starts to affect everything. So on the contrary, in mysticism, there is a very small trick to everything. Everything is upside down, inside out, or in the opposite way. You are like looking in the mirror, Because of it, when you do something with the emotion, it gets less and less beautiful, but somehow it starts to affecting you much more. So when we let emotion increase and be very vivid, very rich, then it stops affecting us. Common sense think like, if I let it, be free, let my emotions be free, like common sense says to us what? It starts controlling, but in the opposite. When we try to control it, then it starts controlling us because it is very strong opponent, When we start arguing with it, it starts controlling us. And what we do is improve our ability to cut these instances to live emotion freely. And what we need to understand is we actually distorted our emotions when we were a child. We are conditioned to, we are told by our parents to distort our emotions, to somehow run away from them or express them in some way, or feeling some of them is wrong to do, right? This is how actually society controls people, by teaching them how to live their emotions, right? And then our emotions become very distorted. And this makes our mind very chatty, because we can never connect to the body, because pure expression in our emotions in our body cannot be experienced by the mind. So mind doesn't linger in the body. This is a very big hindrance to the meditation. I'm sure many of you experience some hindrances in meditation, right? For concentration. And one of the main reasons of that is because of emotions. So the Tibetan perspective is to just not like purify or transform these emotions with alchemy, but on the contrary, they actually try to reverse the distortions, the teaching and conditioning made by society and our environment, they try to reverse this conditioning to feel this emotion in their purest and most natural sense. So the main theory, main approach to this in these mystical traditions is if you are able to experiencing your emotions in the purest and most vivid sense, then you are free and you are actually in a more vivid and energetic way. Let's say that you are able to experience all emotions at once and very vivid way. It would be hell of an experience, right? But somehow you are able to not react to them in any way. Like you are like this, but you are actually very aroused, angry, fearful, and or every kind of emotions like exploding in you, but you are just smiling and sitting there and be very calm at the same time. This is what traditions teach us, actually. So this is what we will do. Actually, we will like purify, but not in sense that our emotions are wrong and we are purifying them. We are just, getting the dust off on our emotions. Just this. So by connecting to nature of our mind, we can cut through thoughts. These are connected. And the important thing about working with emotions is breaking the continuum of thought and emotions like volatile, like snake coiling. We want to stop this. Why? When you return back to your childhood emotions, maybe you found out that there was an emotion, there was a thought that is uh, that we learned about our parents, let's say, how we should live this emotion, like, or some experience that we recall, oh, this is how I should express this. Then thought starts distorting the emotion, right? When emotion starts to get distorted, then it creates new thoughts, right? And when you concentrate on some kind of emotion, immediately a narrative comes, right? Like external objects, people, a story, a narrative comes, right? So we want to cut this narrative in order to experience the emotion in its natural state. And by doing this repeatedly, we will purify our emotions. This is the method, actually. But if we cannot cut the continuum, then there is a risk we will amplify the distortion of the emotion. So as my teacher says, Dharma is not safe. So we can purify with this our emotion and reach very vibrant state. But if we don't do this in a proper way, then we can create some more distortions in our emotions as well. Actually, I was like trying to snuff out like a candle to my emotions when I was first working with mysticism. And a couple of my teachers actually warned me about this. They said to me, don't work dry, don't work dry. Like bodhicitta, like the internal intention to serve all beings with like meditation, like developing yourself, this kind of thing. They said you should feel it very vibrant, like overwhelming love, like it should be like this, very vibrant. If that's not vibrant, then it is not like magnetic. You can't practice it. You know what I mean, right? It should be very vibrant. But while it is vibrant, it starts to become a little dangerous. While so vibrant, so we can become attached to that. So we need to learn the skill cutting through thoughts well in order to, while experiencing it, not getting attached to the feeling. So it always stay vibrant. Any questions up to there? And then we can go through the technique a bit. And this is just an introductory class. I will share the technique, yes, but in the coming sessions, we will hold the mandala. What mandala means is the emotion map that constructs our reality. So we will work every single one of them to deconstruct our reality. Let's take desire, for example. Desire is connected to loneliness feeling as well. And if you are really able to experience desire to its fullest without distorting it, desire actually starts to turn into an intense connection with all creation. It starts to turn very vivid and beautiful. And even I could describe it as like orgasmic feeling that you feel to all creation. But in order to achieve this, you should sit with desire for a very clear, pure, and long way, without any reaction to that or without any distortion to that. So it will become such a good feeling about all creation, good connection, that effortlessly you can help liberate all beings and you can just be empathy with them without forcing yourself to do that. Because, in Tibetan, you need to help all beings achieve liberation, right? If you don't have this pure version of the desire, then you need to force yourself to help. If you force yourself to help, then you distort your own emotions even further, and you are very exhausted in a very short time. So you can't practice bodhicitta, like serve all beings, the enlightenment spirit. This is just a example, and there are versions for anger and fear also.